Harrison Graham here on Chicago Bears Now. You can follow me on Twitter at HGramNFL. The Bears have signed Andy Dalton, the quarterback we've all been waiting for this offseason in Chicago. 1-year deal up to $13 million. $10 million is the base salary, and then up to $13 with $3 million in incentives. Free agent quarterback options were certainly decreasing. Guys like Jameis Winston had signed, Cam Newton, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and with a cherry on top, the Seahawks aren't trading Russell Wilson at this point in time, according to Adam Schefter. More on him in just a few moments. But first, what's your one-word reaction to the Bears signing the Red Rifle, or as some call him in recent years, the Red BB gun? Let us know in the comments. One-word reaction to Andy Dalton getting a contract with the Chicago Bears. My one word, underwhelming. Pretty darn underwhelming, if you ask me. But let me know what you guys think. What's your one-word reaction to the Bears signing Andy Dalton? So we talk more about Andy Dalton here as he is the newest quarterback of the Chicago Bears. And like I said, it's pretty underwhelming. Okay last year, 65%, under 2,200 yards, 14 tutties, 8 interceptions, and mop-up work for the Cowboys. Remember, Dak Prescott missed most of last season, so Andy Dalton, I believe he started 8, 9, 10 games, somewhere in that range. He missed a game or two as well with a pretty gnarly concussion. 33 years old, isn't old by any means, but haven't we seen the best of Andy Dalton? I kind of think we have. The Bears were swinging for Russell Wilson, and to their credit, it appears they tried to get him. ESPN after Adam Schefter reports that they made a strong push for Russell Wilson, but Seattle plans to keep Russell Wilson as of now, which is something I said from the beginning was going to be the likely scenario. Don't listen to B-Rob on this one. A trade was never imminent. They tried, but ultimately struck out when it came to Russell Wilson. Maybe something changes down the road, but at this point, Wilson is staying in Chicago, and the Bears had shifted to Andy Dalton. We'll see if they do anything else at quarterback, but it does not appear that Russell Wilson will be an option for the Chicago Bears. If it's time to fire Ryan Pace, first of all, that was last year, but hey, it's never too late. Type F in the comments, spam it for me. The Bears GM just can't figure it out when it comes to the quarterback position. In his defense, options were limited, but you know what? When you keep Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy and you end up with Andy Dalton, that's not exactly inspiring. Type F if it's time to fire Ryan Pace. And while you're doing that, subscribe to the channel. It's tough times. I get it. We can vent together here on this channel, youtube.com/Bears Now. All of the Chicago Bears news and rumors all off season long. We'll see if they have a trick up their sleeves at quarterback, but as of now, looks like it's going to be Andy Dalton. Anything that happens, we'll break it down here on this channel, so go ahead and subscribe by going to youtube.com/Bears Now, or if you're watching on our Bears channel, just hit that big red button. Now, don't forget, Nick Foles, he's still in the fold right now. Andy Dalton, Nick Foles, QB battle. Who's ready? Not me. That's not very inspiring. Once again, that's the word of the day. Lack of inspiration when it comes to Andy Dalton, when it comes to the Chicago Bears quarterback room. Mitchell Trubisky, I fully expect to move on. I do think that is confirmed with this Dalton signing. Trubisky will not be in Chicago. Maybe Foles gets moved and they draft a quarterback. Who knows? We'll certainly look at some draft options in the future as we move forward. But, man, Andy Dalton versus Nick Foles, that leaves a lot to be desired when it comes to the quarterback position for the Bears. Hopefully they take a look at some other options, but there's not a lot left unless you look at the NFL draft. I'm not counting on Deshaun Watson. You probably shouldn't either. You look at these two guys side by side, if this is the competition, gross, because both these guys are fringe starters. They're really good backups at this point. You don't want Andy Dalton or Nick Foles to start for your football team in 2021. I love Andy Dalton. Hell, I've played basketball with the guy. He went to the same college with me at TCU. Don't want him as my starting quarterback. I'm not that interested at this point in his career. I will say I do think he's better than Nick Foles, but I don't think he's that much better. I don't think getting Andy Dalton in the fold is the difference in the Bears making a deep run next year. Answer this question. Who's the better quarterback right now? AD for Andy Dalton, type NF for Nick Foles. I'll type AD. I think it's a very slight upgrade, but again, not nearly a big enough upgrade to make a difference. If I'm Allen Robinson, I want out even more than I did as recent as yesterday. So, again, this sucks. Not getting Russell Wilson stinks. But I've kept it real with you guys all along. I've said, hey, push for Wilson, push for Watson. It's probably not going to happen, but you should try everything. And this is really the dilemma you created when you brought back Ryan Pace especially, but even Matt Nagy to a certain extent. These guys can't afford to not win next year. So if you're not going to commit to a rebuild and try and draft a guy, then you have to bring in a veteran. Well, when you swing and miss on Watson, you swing and miss on Russell Wilson, who that's clearly not going to be the option here. As Adam Schefter says, the Seahawks are not trading him at this point in time. You end up with an Andy Dalton of the world. That's kind of what happens when you keep a lame duck GM and a lame duck coach. They'd rather take their chances with a veteran quarterback that's kind of just okay at this point than trying to move up in the draft. Maybe they'll change their minds. Maybe they'll move up in the NFL draft to try and get, I don't know, a Justin Fields or a Trey Lance or even a Mac Jones or someone like that. But it does not appear Russell Wilson will be the answer for the Chicago Bears. Should the Bears draft a quarterback? Type Y for yes. Type in for no. I want to get your votes on this. I think they should. I think they should look at moving up in the draft now. I don't care what happens with Pace and Nagy. I think you got to try and find your quarterback for the future. The only risk is, can Ryan Pace evaluate quarterbacks? No, he can't. So that's why you should have fired him. But that's neither here nor there. Y for yes, N for no. Should the Bears draft a quarterback? And no, I do not want Kellen Mond. So we circle back to the news. Andy Dalton, 1 year, up to $13 million. Looks like $10 million is guaranteed. Good for him. He let his ego go last year a little bit, decided to be a backup with Dallas, got a chance to play quite a bit, and I'll be honest, he was not great for the Cowboys last year, so the fact that it looks like he's got a pretty decent chance of starting in 2021, that's great for Andy Dalton, right? Like, if you're Andy Dalton, you're living pretty. You get a pay raise after not playing that well in Dallas with a good receiving core. Yeah, that's not bad for Andy Dalton and Chicago. Is it great for the Bears? Don't really think so, but I've been proven wrong in the past before. Maybe we will again. Maybe we can rally around Andy Dalton and we can see 2013 Andy Dalton, but I'm not exactly banking on that front. I haven't heard a lot of chatter when it comes to Deshaun Watson. Obviously, I would still explore that, but it just doesn't seem very likely at this point. Do want to hit on the Allen Robinson impact on this as well. Think about this. He's already upset you haven't paid him. Now he's thinking about going to war with either Nick Foles or Andy Dalton. I'm demanding a trade if I'm Allen Robinson. I want out. I'm holding out. I'm demanding a trade. You've already not paid me, and now you've delivered me another stopgap quarterback. No, thank you. I'm not playing for this team if I'm Allen Robinson moving forward. I know you guys don't want to hear that, but that's just me being honest. I think that's what I would do if I was Allen Robinson. The guys never play with a good quarterback, so don't be shocked if he demands a trade. Subscribe. We'll keep you guys updated on the latest Bears news and rumors. Andy Dalton, that's the big news of the day as he is heading to the Chicago Bears.